It's puppy love. Welcome to Get Gardening. My name is Alan Gray. Now you find me here at the potting bench today because I went to my local flower show the other day in Stalham, and they're having a competition, and you buy however many daffodil bulbs you like. It's a kind of a lottery really, because there's 3 different varieties and they don't tell you what you've got. And these are the bulbs, and I've picked the ones where they've got a pup on the side of them here. So that's a bulb with a baby on the side. And you plant them in a pot and you grow them on, so I'm just planting them in these 1.5 litre pots, covering them with compost, tap it down, and I shall water them and I shall put them outside. It's important to grow them outside because if I grow them inside they'll become weak and they'll become atoliated, and atoliated means too tall and they'll flop. We don't want that. So those are going to be potted and they're going to go outside. Now the other plants I'm attending to today are these lovely South African Nerines, or Nerines. You say Nerine and I say Nerine. Well, who knows? Anyway, they are known as the Guernsey lily. And why do they call the Guernsey lily when they come from South Africa? Well, the reason is we think a ship containing bulbs of Nerines from South Africa got shipwrecked off the coast of Guernsey. They got brought ashore by the tides and they grew on the sand dunes because they do like quite a light sandy soil. And people saw them and loved them and they became known as the Guernsey lily. Well, they're not a lily and they're not from Guernsey, but they are lovely. And at this time of the year, I like to take my pots of my tender Nerines. This means they're not frost hardy. And this is what's happened to them over the summer. They've had a dry summer and I just started watering them. And you can see they're just coming now into growth. And that's exactly what we want. But you can see they've also got this nasty coating around the top of weedy detritus. And I want to get rid of that. The simple way to do it is to upend the pot. A sharp tap, and we get everything out. Now I'm going to turn it off and I'm going to peel that top layer of compost off. Get myself an old flower pot to catch the bits and gently go around pulling out the weeds. I need to take this top layer off because in this top layer there is also lots of seeds of weeds, or weeds seeds. Weedy seeds. And they are going to germinate if I don't remove the top layer, so I don't want them there, so I'm going to take them off. Now while we're doing that, you will notice that this mother has got some pups, or small bulbs around the edge. And if we want to make more, the trick is to very gently, because I don't want to break the roots, very gently tease away. Give it a little squeeze and a little nip and be gentle. There we are, it's coming out, look, see, with its own little set of roots. And that will go into another pot. And as I've loosened another one, I'm going to take 2 away from this clump. And I'm going to carry on weeding until all of this is clear of weeds. And then I'm going to repot it into the same pot because they don't need to have masses of root room. And just before we repot, I'm going to scratch around the bottom here and get some of the old soil out. The trick with these tender Nerines is never to grow them in too big a pot, although some varieties, if they are slightly larger growing, will benefit from being in a bigger pot. But the smaller, more diminutive varieties will relish being in a smaller pot. And here we have the bulbs, carefully lowering them in, making sure that you tuck the roots in around the edge, and then just trickle a little bit of compost around them. Lift any bulbs up that sort of tend to flop to one side, and gently firm with your hands and fingers. Give it a little shake. And any bulbs that feel a bit wobbly, don't worry about them, because throughout the winter these are going to be making new roots, and that will help to firm the bulb up into the compost. And give it a sharp tap. There you are. job done. Now for the pups. I'm going to pot these two together, but I'm going to take off these little bits of loose tunic around the bulb here. Anything that looks terribly loose and a bit messy, take it off. And here we put a little bit of compost in the bottom of the pot. You'll see that I'm using a terracotta pot. I mean, you can use plastic pots, but for plants like Nerines or Nerines, I think terracotta not only looks nicer, it's easier to manage, because these plants do their growing during the winter season. And the winter season, in the winter season, it's easy to overwater pot plants. And the way to tell when they need more water is to either feel the weight of the pot. That will tell you whether they need more water. You'll get used to that. Practice makes perfect. Or you can see from the compost that it's drying out. You also see the pot, the surface of the pot is actually dry as well. Another sharp tap and the job is done. But don't forget to put a label in, because otherwise you're guaranteed to forget which variety you've got in this pot.